We're here with Nicolás Pérez Costa and his adoptions of Richard III. Thank you so much for taking your time out before your performance.
Thanks you for being here. My name sounds really beautiful in your mouth.
What made you bring Richard III to London?
Being in London doing this, it's like some sort of examination or something like that. I'm Argentinian. I live in Spain. I've always thought about this version of Richard III, and I tried to think about it. In Spain was really success.
Ahora el invierno de nuestro descontento se ha convertido en un glorioso verano por el hijo de York. Y todas las nubes que pesaban sobre nuestras casas yacen sepultas en las hondas entrañas del océano.
And start to think what happened if I go to London and try it. Okay. And so I started and I am here.
How is that different to the performance in Madrid? What is different?
It is quite different because I think the theater is always completed by the actors. Yeah. This ensemble production is made by an international cast. Yeah. And we have Portuguese actors, Argentinians, Americans, Spanish, British. So it was really different while we were rehearsing it. The energy was in another space, in another way. Yeah. Also, as Cockpit is on the round, it demands some kind of being near to the audience. Yeah. Feels different. We needed the audience to feel really part of what is happening. In Spain, we did it in really big theaters.
Culpable. Si hoy muero. Si hoy muero, nadie tendrá piedad de mí.
So it's necessary change.
What was the biggest challenge to work with an international cast?
Speaking in English. Yes. I have studied a lot, but a long time ago. So while as I started rehearsing, I had a real help. Yeah. From everyone. They started correcting my pronunciation, and I can say whatever when I was speaking in English. Yeah. The other thing was trying to notice everyone that the energy and the body was the most important thing on the performances, not about what is said is said by Shakespeare. So my motto was, what can we do so we are all in the same energy, all in the same code, also all in the same language?
Because I think when you speak a different language, and it's sometimes very hard to bring your point across because you have it different in your head and then try to express yourself with it.
I agree.
You performing and directing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
How do you separate them?
I don't. In fact, this play, Richard, is like a sort of director of what is happening inside. So it's difficult. I'm used to do it in Spanish. In English, it's much more difficult because I have to think a lot. I try not to go out of my head while I'm performing. The challenge is always try to being there. Yeah. All the time. But as I have told you, as Richard is a sort of director of what is happening, something about that is really helpful in this journey.
Obviously, Richard III is a very classical Shakespeare production, and you kind of mix it with a lot of theatrical play and percussions. How did that idea come across?
I did some other show like 20 years ago, and I thought this idea was really great, and I was so young that I couldn't do it as I could do it now. Yeah. So I started thinking about these barrels and these ladders we have, and trying to think how can we use the sounds in order to put this sort of beat of what is happening, the sort of heartbeat of what is happening. As in this play, a lot of people die.
Yeah.
I started thinking, what about the heartbeat? What about this sense of the dystopian world we are making?
Yeah.
Um, how can we arrange some kind of tribe here? And the sound did most of the part of these.
De la bella proporción, privado de todo encanto por la pérfida naturaleza.
Cuando más necesite poner a prueba a un amigo, le halle falso traidor.
How do you feel Richard III is still relevant today?
I think Richard III is relevant now uh, because of the world is really weird. Um, the world is going mad. It seems to be that there's no limit for anybody. And it's not just about the governments, it's about being outside and see what's happening. It's I think it's easy to not being Richard when you have no power. Um, the challenge is what happened when you have, and power is authority is not just about being a president. It's about being a teacher in a classroom. It's about being a boss. Um, I think this play brings us the limits we have to think about.
¿Por qué habrían de serlo? Si yo mismo no he tenido ninguna piedad de mí.
¡Desespérate! ¡Desespérate! ¡Muere!
And trying to put it in this sort of look is trying to make it universal.
And how do you want people to feel after they leave your show tonight? Do you want them to? Is it more provocative? What do you do? What's the intentions? What should they feel after tonight?
Yes, it's to provoke them. I always say is to feel empty and full at the same time. The last 10 minutes of the show, there's a lot of energy on stage, a lot of energy. So what I feel that happened is that everyone feels, oh, I think I can explain myself with my body.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when it ends and they stop the clapping, I think there's a moment in which you think, what has he done? What have I seen? And the challenge is, how can I imagine this idea is going to be something on people's life, something significant, something to do something with.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to see the show, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.